Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Welcome today to another top 10. It's my top 10 recommendations if you're considering picking up a watch by San Martin. Now, I've said it before and I will say it again. I think that San Martin are by far and away the best of the China direct brands, the best of the AliExpress brands, and at a certain sweet spot, my reckoning is between 180 and 250 US dollars, they make the best watches you can get in terms of fit, in terms of finish, in terms of materials used, overall package. They're better put together than anything else you can buy. Not perfect though, not a lot of originality on display always. And the further north you go from that sweet spot, I think they run into difficulties involving brand. Talking of brand, I don't think they've got their brand identity quite nailed down yet. Too many logos, sometimes all at once. And there are some models from the range that I don't recommend. I will talk about some of those later on. Not turkeys, but I think there are better options available. Now, I put the pop-up up today. Some of these watches I bought myself. Some of these watches I have borrowed from subscribers. And some of these watches have been sent to me for free by the San Martin official store on AliExpress. Those are the links therefore that I'll leave in the description of the video to the San Martin official store. All watches in the order that I show them. Now, the timing of this video is deliberate. It's time to coincide with the big 11/11 Singles Day November sales. If you're watching this video before the sale starts, you can pop a watch in your cart, pay for it on the 11th or 12th. If you're watching this video after the sales have finished, don't worry, there'll be another sale along any minute now. There are usually about 5 or 6 great discounted buying periods over the course of a year. All right, enough waffle, Jody. Let's get on with this and let's start with the first San Martin that I bought and reviewed 2 years ago. Let's get on with it. Okay, so let's start appropriately enough at the beginning. This is the first San Martin that I bought 2 years ago. These ones coming in now on sale at just around 210 US dollars. They refer to it as a 62 mass. It's actually, more accurately, an SLA017 Homage. Here is the $200 San Martin on the right and the $5,000 Seiko on the left. There isn't as huge a gulf as you would expect between those two watches as the price tag would suggest there would be. So you've got a couple of different versions now. There's one with a logo in black, there's one with a logo in blue, there's a no logo version, there's one in a waffle, etc, etc. I bought mine on the rubber strap and then added the bracelet later. Buy the bracelet version, it's very good. Great set of dimensions, it's nice and slim, 40 to 41 mil in diameter, Seiko NH35, lovely piece of domed sapphire crystal, great lume. Now, these are not renders, these are actual photos of the watch. Super sharp finishing on all of these San Martins. That is why you'd be buying one, because they're just beautifully well made for the money. This one has a lovely sunburst effect on the dial, great lume, ceramic bezel insert, really nice handset, date complication there at the 3 o'clock. The rubber strap is excellent, but the bracelet is very, very good. That's the version I would be going for if you are inclined to wear a watch on a bracelet. All San Martin watches now coming with this new packaging, well packaged, plenty of foam, 2-year warranty, and screwdrivers for sizing, spring bar tools for strap changes now included as well. A great place to start. Next up, it is another one of my favourites and a watch that I think has sold very, very well. I described it as the best affordable retro diver you can buy and I have not changed my mind. These ones coming in at under $200 during the sale. No shortage of options, including this new kind of burnt orange dial. Looks fantastic. I've got one of those in. I'll show you it in just a second. You can get the Arabics on the dial as well if you prefer that. You can get a no logo version if you prefer that. And look, it's me. I wish they would have chosen a better shot. Not my finest hour, that one. This one, vintage styling, vintage sizing, 38. Again, NH35 by Seiko. Again, fabulous looking watch with a gilt hand and those gold indices. That, my friends, is a good looking watch. Ceramic bezel insert looks fantastic, especially combined with a sapphire crystal, generally sharp finishing, and that rivet bracelet. Definitely a little retro charmer, this one on a budget. If you can pick this up for $200 or less during the sale, you have bought very, very wisely, I think. And that's the new kind of orangey red dial version. Yeah, if you want something different from the usual black and gilt, then this one is certainly an option for you now. Regardless of the colour, I think both watches wear very well. Rivet bracelet, super comfortable. And for an extra $10, you can now buy female end links for an even better fit on smaller wrists. Alright, watch number 3. If you don't even want to spend $200, if you want to spend closer to $130, once you add those ubiquitous vouchers, check out the Great Wave of Kanagawa style full loom dial. I reviewed this one a while ago and it is just so much fun. The dial looks awesome during the day, it's textured, it is a little piece of art on your wrist, and it looks even better after dark. The loom is absolutely outrageous, as you'll see. It's based on one of the cushion case Seiko designs from the early 1970s, which means it wears very, very comfortably, as you would expect. Those waffle straps are good, nice and flexible, and proper stainless steel hardware in the buckle and tang as well. And that's what mine looked like after dark. I think they have changed the loom on those since, from BGW9 and C3 to all C3 for that green glow. Awesome watch, less than 130 on sale, that is a bit of a deal. Okay, moving on to one of their newer models. Again, it's slightly smaller, 39.5. Again, it's Seiko NH35 powered. This one, definitely an Omega SM300 lookalike. So it is that 1950s vibe. Broad arrow handset and a sandwich dial. Again, great price, $235, less vouchers. Right in the middle of my self-proclaimed sweet spot, this one at $220. And again, look at that standard of finishing, just fantastic. So sandwich dials always generally have great loom. The ceramic bezel insert doesn't look like it's quite got the depth of some of the other ones, some of their other retro offerings. But yeah, it looks as typically well made as the rest of their stuff. I've actually got one of these on the way at the moment. Didn't make it in time for a full review here. I'll probably try and review it before Christmas. Oyster style bracelet, screw links, and a good clasp with 4 holes of micro adjust. But if you've noticed, have a look at the clasp. I mean, that clasp is striking. Very well machined, as I keep saying. 3 different brands here though. One brand logo on the dial, a different brand logo on the crown, and a 3rd brand logo on the clasp. They need to nail down their brand identity if they want to move forward as a brand, I think, rather than just be seen as a manufacturer of watches. Moving on to the San Martin I have worn more than any other from their Explore climbing series. You can see what they were trying to do there, can't you? The perfectly sized 39mm Explorer Homage. This thing is available in either logo or no logo. I'll talk a bit about that later on. It wears magnificently, coming in at about $230. There I am again, slightly better shot, but really I'm going to have to speak to my agent about this one. It is just perfect proportions, 12.5mm thick, 39mm, 47.5 lug to lug, female mid links of the end link, 20mm lug width, and a cracking amount of micro adjust from the clasp. Look at how well that watch is finished for $230. You buy one of these, you wear it for a week, and you think people would be insane to spend $7 on a Rolex that doesn't do anything different, quite frankly. My only concern with this one is that the logo printing, if you opt for the logo version, is in white, whereas the hands and the indices are in 14 yellow. I'd personally be going for the no logo version. Trust me, buy one of these, put it on, you will never want to take it off again. It wears that well. So the only bronze watch on the list, and one of only 2 bronze watches that San Martin do, it's proper CUSN8 marine grade bronze. It's the bronze version of what they call the 62 mass, but I've already said is more like an SLA017. Great dimensions, lovely piece of bronze, fantastic loom, available logo or non-logo, on a chunkier rubber strap or on the waffle. I bought mine, I bought a green dial version when they did them a few years ago, and I said if Seiko made a bronze watch, which they don't, this would be the watch that they would make. Everything I said about the first watch on the list today applies to this one. Great dimensions, great proportions, lovely piece of sapphire, fantastic loom, Seiko NH35, floating around the $200. Great way to put some very well manufactured bronze in your collection for around $200. It looks like they're discontinuing this one. There aren't many left available in the store. I would grab one before it goes. If you don't own a bronze watch, they're a lot of fun watching them patina. Just remember to turn the bezel occasionally so they don't get stuck. Okay, next up, shock horror, it's an original San Martin. Perhaps that's why it hasn't actually sold all that well since they released it. I think they released this one mid last year. They certainly sent me one of these ones with the logo on the rubber strap in July last year. They have since introduced a bracelet. Bracelet, I must say, looks pretty cool. Always go for the bracelet, folks. You can always change to a leather strap or a rubber strap later on. Always pick the bracelet if there is an option. Again, right in the sweet spot, the rubber strap version should be under $200 on sale. The bracelet version not too much beyond $200. Now this one reminds me a little bit of the Mini Turtle. 40.5mm diameter, 13.5mm thick, but an incredibly compact 43mm lug to lug. That's how they measure it. I actually measure it at closer to 40mm lug to lug. Hidden lugs as well, so it's going to sit really nicely on small wrists. Typically high standard of finishing throughout as well, sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel insert, etc, etc. And the typically mix and match attitude towards branding. This time we have the hexagon on the dial, the shark on the crown, and the shark on the case back as well. You know, I'm not claiming the design is particularly radical, it's a little bit generic and a little bit safe in a lot of respects, but it does show that San Martin can make an original watch if they put their mind to it. That is also something I would love to see more of from the brand next year and beyond. Next watch on the list is another from their Explorer climbing series, this time in 36mm. Now that is the size of the current model Rolex Explorer. It's also the size of vintage 1016 Rolex Explorers, and that I think is the look that San Martin were going for here. You notice though the price creeps up. You're looking at $275 after discounts to just over $400 after discounts. What has happened here is that they've moved from a Seiko NH35 to either a PT5000, Chinese-made high-beat auto, or a Swiss-made Sellita SW200. That's the one that's going to sting you $400. Again, logo, no logo, printed logo, applied logo, and multiple options are available for you there. I'm not quite sure that any of them are perfect though. San Martin still haven't really worked out what's going on with their logos. This is a sweet little watch. Again, lovely case finishing, very nice crown on this one with the logo, the hexagonal logo on there. Inverted mid-link of the end link, it's a proper screw-link bracelet and a nice little clasp with 4 holes of micro adjust, and the hexagon logo on there once more, meaning you can occasionally get a mismatch between the logo on the clasp and the logo on the dial. Like I said, they haven't worked out their logo strategy. I'd probably opt for the PT5000 version if it was an occasional wear, or if you're going to wear this one every day, then pay the extra 100 and go Swiss with the Sellita SW200. But a $400 San Martin doesn't quite have the same appeal to me anyway that a $200 San Martin does, so think carefully about that. Sticking with the retro homage theme, this one clearly mimicking the look of the Tudor Black Bay 58, although they have puffed up the size to 40mm rather than the Black Bay's 39, so in some ways it's going to suit more wrists. Again, there's the black and gilt version, again there's a blue version, no logo, whatever you like, available once more in the choice of 2 movements, either the PT5000 Chinese made or the SW200 Swiss made. They're both clones of the ETA 2824, by the way. Beautiful machining on the case of this one. Coin edge bezel, lovely ceramic bezel insert. It's a kind of boxed double dome sapphire crystal with a bit of vintage distortion there. Unguarded vintage style crown with yet one more different San Martin logo on there. Come on San Martin, you need to nail your logos down for 2022 please. Cracking rivet bracelet, very comfortable, plenty of articulation, and the same clasp that you'll find on most of the others with 4 holes of micro adjust. On wrist it wears very, very well, and I'm a big sucker for the black and gilt, especially with a couple of pops of red on there. Again, you've got that question of price if you opt for the Sellita 200, but the PT5000 is a well-regarded movement these days. That one coming in under $300, I reckon that is probably the one to go for. And finally, at number 10, something a little bit different. You don't see many California dials on the market, certainly not at an affordable price of under $140 on sale. Again, I've got one of these on the way. Perhaps I'll squeeze in a review sometime before Christmas. Available in black, grey and yellow. All the usual specs, Seiko NH35, sapphire crystal, screw down crown, 200 meters of water resistance and decent lume as well. Compact set of dimensions, as tends to be the way with these retro military style watches. And a lovely side profile from this one. Again, cracking finishing, and a piece of bubbled sapphire really setting it off, combined with that stepped angled bezel. Drilled lugs will help with the inevitable strap changes, and what's that? Lo and behold, it is yet another different San Martin logo on the buckle. Right, so what San Martins am I going to suggest you avoid then? Like I said, no turkeys in the range. I'm sure all these are very nicely made, but I don't see the point personally in buying a homage of a Seiko tuna for just under $200 when you can buy an actual Seiko tuna for just over $200. Yeah, okay, so this is more mimicking the top-end Marine Master professional tunas, and it's going to have sapphire crystal, and I'm sure it'll be beautifully made, but yeah, I just don't think it's justifiable spending so close to the price of an original watch on something that isn't an original watch. I can get a Seiko tuna, admittedly a solar one, for about $225 US. That's pretty much nothing in terms of gap. I get it with an Omega, I get it with a Rolex. I don't get buying a Seiko homage when the price difference is so narrow. And as I said in the intro, the more you spend on a San Martin, I think they run into difficulties in terms of the strength of the brand. I looked at this one, it's a Grand Seiko Homage a couple of months back, and I thought when they were charging $525, over $500, admittedly that is with a Sellita SW200, that's a bit of an overreach for the brand. Even on special at $1111, that's still about $450. I would be steering you towards the PT5000 version of this one, coming in at under $350. I refer you back to the thumbnail of today's video. That's my personal sweet spot for this brand. I wouldn't really be spending too much more than that on it if it was my cash. Admittedly, this thing was beautifully made. The bracelet absolutely outrageous in terms of the quality for the price that they're charging if you do pay $330 or $340 for it. But once you're pushing towards $500, there are sharks in the water, and most of them come from the Swatch Group: Hamilton, Tissot, Certina, etc, etc, etc. All with 100+ years of brand heritage rather than about 2.5 years of brand heritage. Now this one might be a bit controversial. I'm going to steer you away from one of their more popular models, the Water Ghost, i.e. their Submariner Homage. Great price, $171 on sale, and yeah, it's nicely put together, but I have reviewed a bucket load of Submariner Homages over the years, and I didn't think this was the best one you could buy in terms of dollar for dollar, and surprisingly in terms of finishing. I thought there were too many sharp edges on this one for me to fully recommend it. It came in at 6 or 7 on my top 10 Submariner Homage list. I would be recommending you to spend a little bit more and go for one by Kronos instead. Like I said, not a bad watch, not a turkey, but not the pick of the bunch. So there you have it, you made it all the way to the end. Give yourself a pat on the back for that. You're obviously keen on San Martin watches. If so, why not check out the double unboxing, or why not check out the video of the Grand Seiko one that I mentioned towards the end there, where I think they've just overextended themselves in terms of price. Thanks for watching, I'll see you all soon.